Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got the new Fragment champion coming next week. Loads of people responded to my video, which I did yesterday, which basically said, yes, please show us the steps to be able to achieve one of these Fragment champions. Lots of people, they struggle, they get close, and then they fail. And it's because they didn't do the pre-work. Yeah, they didn't do the prep. They blew all their resources way too early. I've got to call it out. There are only 13 champions currently out of the 700 odd plus champions in Raid that we rate at a 5-star rating. And as the pre-playtest, that's where Pythion is sitting. This is a serious champion. Yeah, this is an absolute crazy champion. And if you can do it, you should do it. Yeah, if you can do it, you should do it. As I say, I did the video yesterday where I talked about his kit. But there's two things we just need to talk about quickly again. The passive. 25% potential damage mitigation if you've got buffs on. You can start rounds with buffs. Shield set, instant buff. Using stuff like Divine Gear, instant buff. Using things like Immunity Gear, instant buff. Stone Skin Gear, instant buff. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of ways you can get buffed straight away. And then you have champions that can lay on multitude of buffs, yeah? People like Morsean Mage, 3 buffs in one ability. All of a sudden, the whole team got 20% damage mitigation. It's huge, okay? If you then mix into the fact that when he revives people, he puts Strengthen on as well. You put the damage mitigation alongside Strengthen, and all of a sudden, you're mitigating nearly half the damage that's coming into your team. This dude is the real deal. He's cleansing, he's healing. He is going to be an absolute godsend to your accounts. Okay. Raider dropped us a points gift. 50 points. 50 points. Let me just... Sorry, this is in the middle of this video, but let me just see what 50 points is worth to these people. 50 points. They sell 2,500 points for 45 bucks. That's probably what, I don't know, like a couple of quid's worth of points. Anyway, so let's get into this. What do we need for a fusion? Fusions, fragment events, they always follow the same type of path. You need plenty of energy over the course of the whole thing, which means that you need gems to restore energy as well. So energy and gems kind of bracket into one thing, okay? You need shards. You need to be able to pull shards to be able to get these champions. That's always a must. Yeah, apart from, I think, one event ever where you didn't need shards in all the time I've played the game. You need to make sure that you can achieve decent level dungeons. Yeah, because you need to be able to farm a good amount of gear to complete some of the events. You need to beat up the arena, etc., etc. We're going to go through it one by one and kind of tick off how you can prepare. I will say there's a lot of people that are new to my channel right now, or you've been watching my channel for the last X amount of months and you don't subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel, grow my audience, and hopefully I can spread this message to more people. Thank you very much. Now, whenever a Fragment event goes live on hellhades.com, we will do an updated guide for step-by-step, day-by-day, what should you be doing. But actually, the real work happens now. It happens before the Fragment events go live. Yeah, it's getting the prep done. A good thing to do, though, is just to kind of check out old Fragment events. It'll give you a good kind of feeling of what you need to be able to achieve when they go live, because they follow a very similar pattern each time. There's different levels of points they put in for these different things, but ultimately we have the same grouping. I'm going to group some of these together. Ice Golem, Fire Knight, Spider, Dragon, Dungeon Divers. That's one group. It's just being able to farm dungeons. Yeah, and that requires energy and potentially gems. Classic Arena, there's always 2 classic arenas. Sometimes they throw a 3rd one in, but ultimately it's just beating up stuff in the arena. Everybody should be able to do that. Yeah, because it is factored a bit towards your level of account in terms of how many points you've got to achieve. Every single person should be able to do that if you've built an efficient arena team that can beat stuff at your level. You've then got Champion Chase and Summon Rush, both summoning events. You normally have to complete one of them in full or parts of both of them. But normally it's one of them. If you look here, take away the potential points for leading a tournament. There's 115 points up for grabs when we had Uko, which would have meant if you just beat up Champion Chase, you would have got enough points if you did the rest of the stuff. So you wouldn't have had to do the Summon Rush as well. That's normally the case, but it's not every single time. Bear that in mind. They then have Champion Training events, which would tick off as well on this. And we have Artifact Enhancement events. So kind of like 5 groups, really, to get involved with. So let's start with the most difficult one. The first thing you have to remember here, right? We're going to start with shards. Do not pull a shard between now and this fragment event. You have got to get some self-control. You have to stop pulling shards on every single event that goes live if you're not going to spend money in the game. You have to. You cannot do it otherwise. Anyone that says to me, I can never do a fragment event, I would bet my house that you just pull shards whenever you fancy it. And it's the wrong thing to do. Okay, it's the wrong decision. These fragments, these fusions that come along are a better investment for the average player. Okay, my free-to-plays got hard carried by fusions last year. Yeah, and the year before. So where do we get shards from then? You want to push as high as you can in Clan Boss. This is your best form of shards on a daily basis. As soon as you get Nightmare, you'll get regular income of shards. And if you get Ultra Nightmare, then you get really good income of shards. So this is a really high priority. But even if you're hitting Nightmare, if you can hit Nightmare with 3 keys, then make sure you do a key on Brutal as well in that day. If you're hitting Brutal and you can 2 or 3 key it, then try and get a key on Hard. Because there's still a chance. They're not as good, but there's still a chance of you getting some shards. And it could be the difference between you doing the fusion or not if you just pick up a few extra shards from your Clan Boss. Make sure you are pushing every day as far as you can get in Doom Tower. Even if it's on normal, as you kind of scale up, there are opportunities to get shards along the way. Between now and when this goes live, you might get yourself a couple more shards from normal Doom Tower or hard Doom Tower. So it's a really easy way to do it. Faction Wars. Can you push an extra 50, 60 stars in a week? I'll tell you now, you can. If you're not maxing this stuff out, you can. You just got to put in some effort. Sometimes it's a difference of leveling up 2 or 3 champions to level 40 and putting some level 12 gear on them. And I tell you what, you will find that you jump. And then you jump enough to get yourself maybe a couple of extra void shards. Yeah, or if you're earlier on, a couple of extra ancient shards and maybe a void. That could be the difference between you doing this fusion or fragment event or not. Faction Wars is something that people overlook. You can jump a lot of stars in a short period of time by just focusing on the right team to be able to beat some stuff up. Yeah, going from doing a 1-star hit to a 3-star hit just because you've put in a few extra levels in like the group of champions that you don't want to take to 50, 60. Yeah, level 40, if they're in sets like regen sets, shield sets, just high HP gear, don't try and build the level 40s to do any damage. Build them to stay alive. That's Faction Wars. If you've not yet beaten Brutal and got your full number of stars, do it. Do it, yeah? Same with Hard. If you're earlier on in the game, get yourself these extra shards from doing this. And are you ready to take on Nightmare? Yeah, are you ready to do it? I've done videos on this showing how to do it. If you've got the Cheese Meister, it's slow, but you'll be able to do it. Sacred shards are literally the lifeblood of doing these fragment events. So if you can get yourself a couple more, then you should absolutely be pushing for it in the next week. Always come into the market and pick up, I'll do a cheeky refresh, pick up every single mystery shard that you see for 5k. Every single one. And obviously you get your ancients. You get 5 ancients a month. Pick those up as well, obviously. But pick up every single mystery shard. And you know why? Because when you get to these fragment events, an extra 200 mystery shards might be the difference between you getting to that next level or not. It's so important. It's absolutely crucial that you pick up as many as you can so that it saves your kind of bulk level of good shards for when you really need it. Mystery shards, although it's boring, can be the difference between you completing these or not. Another big call out is Champion Chase events. Champion Chase, you can use fusion champions and past fragments. Are you close to getting Helmet from Doom Tower or one of the other epics? or the legendary from Doom Tower? Yeah, are you close to that? Can you do more secret rooms between now and when this fragment goes live to get yourself over the edge? Because an epic will give you 250 points and a legendary will give you 500 points for a champion chase. That means you can save the shards for Summon Rush. Yeah. Things like fusion. So you might have Razin here. If you fuse one of the epics for Razin, that's 250 points. Don't do that when you don't have a fragment event going on. Do it during the fragment event. Can you actually get Razin? Do you want to? Should you be pushing for more epics over and over again instead of picking up Razin? Those are the sort of things you need to think about. Broadmoor, basically a freebie to get, and we've got enough time to do it by picking up every day between now and the fragment going live. These fellas out of your shop, out of your bazaar. Pick these two up and do it daily, and you'll get yourself enough fragments to get these two summoned, and then you can get Broadmoor. That's 350 points for a champion chase. Can you buy the shard up here? Yeah, these are the sort of things. Drexar, if you've still got Drex in here, are you close to the 100? If you're not, then you should be doing it anyway for the next fusion. Like, you're still preparing for the future. So be picking up the Drex fragments as often as you can. Things like Hydra, obviously there's Mithrala in here. She can help you for champion chase. All of those things you need to be thinking of to get yourself prepped for future. So a few other little bits. You've got milestones here where you can get your shards, so make sure you do your daily quests. Obviously, this is important anyway. Are you close to getting the Sacred and the Void here? Do you know how far away you are? I'm 10 days. I will get this during the fusion. So I know that I've got a Void and a Sacred coming to me during that fusion. Yeah, things like this. Another one which people either want to do or they don't, but you can get this epic champion with self-referrals very, very easily, very quickly. Yeah, you can self-refer. I've done videos on this. It still works. It works perfectly fine. I literally done videos on this a ton of times, but get your own referral accounts going. If you just do the epic, which will take you on 3 different accounts, probably half an hour. And that's 250 points on the next champion chase. If you're not on a PC and you can't use BlueStacks to do it, then find 3 people who don't care about raid and use their phones, and just get yourself 3 accounts through your link and get this champion. If you go to the level 30 stuff, that would probably take you about 6 or 7 days to do this in terms of logging in, spending the energy. All you need to do is blow through campaign. You don't need to do all the other stuff in the game. Blow through campaign, get them to level 30, and you'll get yourself 3 more void shards. It might be the difference between you getting this fragment champion or not. Okay, that's enough on shards. Arena, you just need to build a good team. I've done loads of videos on building arena teams. Speed into speed, giving yourself increased attack, into drop defense, into nuke. Very simple. Yeah, very simple teams. You don't need to go for all sorts of extravagant teams. If you've got extremely slow gear, you can also build a go second team, where you put yourself in a bolster set and a shield set within 2 of your support units, and you're basically building out a team that can take a first hit. You have champions. You either have champions that help you do it, like the best one in the game is Necret, and you're designed to be slow, but when you do hit, you're extremely powerful. So if you've got champions in shield set and bolster set, you can take a hit, or stuff like Stone Skin, take a hit. You're not worried about that. And then when it's your turn, you kind of throw it back at the enemy and say, you know what, we're now ready to have a turn. We don't care about what you've got going on, and we're going to smack you into the ground. And by the way, thanks for coming. Yeah, so that's a go second team. You just need effective teams. And then when the actual tournaments come along, you just pick your fights. Yeah, keep refreshing the arena. Pick the fights that are going to work for you at your level. I've never failed to do the arena missions on a free-to-play ever, at any point, ever. It's, as long as you're active and refresh the list, find the ones that you think you can fight, and only fight the ones that you can target. Arena should be easy for everybody. Okay, let's talk about dungeons. You want to try and fight, obviously, as high a level as possible. Ideally, pushing up towards like level 16, 17. Maybe 16 is good in terms of energy for the items you get back. If you could do 20, then it gives you always 5 or 6 star gear. But you want to be pushing up as high as you can with 100% win rate. tend to want to save gems for this point. Don't spend any gems between now and the fragment going live. Yeah, you get gems on a day-to-day basis. Actually get quite a lot. Just from doing advanced missions, just from doing your kind of daily grind, you get a reasonable amount of gems coming in. Yeah, if you're doing your kind of daily stuff, pick up gems here and there, energy here and there, which you then use. Between now and the event going live, you shouldn't really be spending tons of time in here unless you're building silver count. If you're building silver count, spiders is a good place to come. But I would suggest you don't farm a lot of dungeons between now and the fragment going live. But do use your energy, at least until a couple of days before the fragment goes live. On the free-to-plays, I tend to get my silver count up and get champions ready. We'll go into that in a second, to be able to feed them for the champion training. But up until about 2 days before it goes live, I'm spending all my energy every single day doing prep. 1 or 2 days before it's actually going live, I will just stock all of my energy. Yeah, stock it all up, so that I've got at least the first couple of events worth of energy to just smash out without starting to dip into my gems. I make sure that every day I will do my daily quests, my advanced quests, to get my stocks kind of going up. But basically, I'm just readying myself. If you can't do a high level of Spider 10, specifically 10, drops you much better gear than like 11, 12, 13. You get a much better amount of 5-star gear out Spider 10. This is where you want to focus if you can't beat up 17 or higher. Okay, Dragon should be the easiest dungeon for you to beat. And yeah, you want to be punching on as high as you can. Same with Fire Knight, really. Fire Knight's harder to beat. You might find that you have to beat something like Fire Knight 10 or 13, which will cost you a bit more in energy and gems. So just kind of bear that in mind. Now, stuff like energy, you can actually buy energy from the bazaar. This is not a great investment of your bazaar gold. But if you've got plenty of gold, then you should be doing this. Between now and the event going live, maybe drop your defense down to one-man defenses, so that when you're fighting one-man defenses. I've just put my defense back in because I'm away at the weekend. If I want to farm up gold medals, I drop my defense down to one man. One man, easy to kill. People look at it and they're like, yes, I just want to beat that nice and quick. They kill you. You drop low down the rankings, and then all you see is one-man defenses. And you should be able to just farm up your 20 battles every day very easily. Yeah, which means you get enough gold bars to start buying these extra things. So energy is available in there. Energy is available in the clan shop sometimes. It's not right now. So we're hoping that next week it is. But always check this. Don't buy it up until you're close to the fragment event going live. So we want to check it next Tuesday. There's also things like silver available in here. There's things like artifacts available in here, which you could sell if they're no good, which will give you a good silver count. So kind of use, there's a shard if you're at a higher level, kind of use your gold from the for the clan shop towards things that are going to empower you to do a fragment. Even someone like Yakol, are you close to fragments for Yakol or Yannicka? Yeah, so bear that in mind as well. But the energy in here for a lower level player, 1,000 energy for 1,000 gold for a lower level player, I think is the best investment you can make when you're getting ready for a fragment, or during a fragment event, I should say. Okay, and other things with energy, where you've got things like this. So upgrade a champion to rank 4. If you're kind of closing in on the fragment event popping up, don't use this yet. Don't do this yet until the fragment is live, and then you've got another energy refill here. There's another one for ascending a champion. Do those during the fragment. Don't do it in like 3 days before, because you wasted it. You've wasted it at that point. Same with the monthly stuff. You know, the things like, I think it's the artifacts to level 16. You get 200 energy for one of these anyway. There's one of these drops a 200 energy like perk. Don't do that until you're in the fusion and you're in the fragment event. Save them. Yeah. If there's any events like closing in on the fragment that drop energy, don't just pick it up, save it, and use it when the fragment event goes live. Just be a bit more, don't worry about those red dots. Just be a bit cleverer with what you do with your resources. Okay, let's talk about champion training events. So champion training, what should you be doing between now and the fragment going live? You should just be leveling champions. Yeah, this is where you should spend pretty much all of your energy right now. Why leveling champions? So firstly, you want to just level them up, but leave them level. Don't take them to the next stage. Yeah, just get your 3 stars up to level 30, your 4 stars up to level 40, all the ones you're going to be using as food, and just take them through. Burn all your energy here because you also get a high silver count from just burning 12-3. You're going to be getting champions ready to feed, higher silver ready for the artifact event. So that all of that gets you ready for when the different fragment stuff goes live. Just get them ready. When we get into the champion training events, firstly, you're going to have a whole bunch of food that you can just instantly upgrade rank. Yeah, so this one, let's say this was my food. Instantly, I've got champions ready to do this for. When you do upgrade them, do not just go in and use level 1 food. Do not do this to upgrade your champion. All of these champions that are level 1, you want to level. I've done a full video on this. Champion training events are very easy if you do the right system. I've done separate videos on this. I will link one right now above me somewhere. Check that out. If you do not know this system, you would get double the points you would normally get if you follow a simple champion training strategy. Yeah, it's way easier than you think it is to do. Okay, but the main thing for prep is get people ready. Get people ready and leveled to their max level. Don't level the level 1s up to like the level 18, 20 or so as the food yet. Wait until the champion training event goes live for that. Just get the ones to max level that you want to do. Don't use any of your chickens between now and the fragment event. Just grind food. Grind food up as much as you can and get it ready. So that when we burst into this, you should firstly get yourself a couple of 6 stars during this fragment event. Cool. You need more 6 stars in your account, right? Secondly, you're going to be able to do these events really easily if you just follow the right strategy. And I guess the last thing to tackle is silver. I mean, silver we've already spoken about a bit. Doing the champion training, just getting your champions ready for the champion training events will give you a better silver count. As you're doing all of the different things like dungeons for the fragment event, you're going to be gaining silver anyway, because some of that stuff you're going to sell off. Do a big gear cleanse before it goes live. I'll link one of those videos here as well. You don't want a load of crap sitting on your account. Get rid of it. Get the silver in. Also, the forge is a brilliant source of silver. If you're sitting on a whole load of low-level resilience artifacts and you're like, I don't care about resilience set, craft it all, sell it all. Craft it all, sell it all. It's a massive silver gain to craft the crap, sell it off. Yeah. Things like perception gear is brilliant to have, to craft it up, but sell the crap. Yeah, and you will find you will gain tons of silver during this. This is better to be done during a clan v clan event, by the way. You actually get a lot of points for doing this as well. But in terms of doing so, and there will be a clan v clan within like the second week of the fragment, I think. So bear that in mind as well. But this is a good source of silver when you need that silver. In terms of other things as well, again, things like the clan shop, there is a silver option here. It's not brilliant in terms of like return for your clan gold. But if you've got a lot of clan gold building up through Hydra, then it's not terrible either. Yeah, it's not terrible. One of the best sources of silver is accessories. So if you've got excess energy and you just want to kind of build your silver rather than build champion training, farm spider, and then sell off the crap, and you'll find that you've got yourself plenty of silver coming in. I would also, don't have to do this, but I would not, things you want to keep. Let's say this ring I want to keep. I would probably take it up to level 8 now. You don't get a lot of points up to level 8 on a kind of artifact event. And I could even take it all the way up to level 11. But I would save the jump to level 12 and then the jump to level 16 now. I wouldn't do any more of those unless it was desperate until the artifact events start dropping. Level 12 to level 16 is where your points are for artifact events. So you need enough silver to do them, and you need gear that you actually want to level ready to go to get you past those points. Certainly don't level stuff to 16. Like holding it on 15 so that you get a load of stuff going to 16 during the artifact events is the way to get those points. Whew. I mean, that was pretty long. I'm sure that was a long video, maybe longer than you'd hoped it would be, but there's just so many things that are in your control. I hate reading. These are impossible to do. Every single one that I've put my mind to as a free-to-play, I've done it. The only, like, potential stoppage for you right now should be shards. Everything else is within your gift. Shards might be more difficult and you might need a bit of luck along the way, but there's also quite a lot of stuff within your gift in shards as well. There you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.